Oh,
there we are.
Oh, there we go. I'm sorry. Because we're in California, we need a little bit of California music today.
Yes, bro.
Yeah. How you doing?
I'm good. A new environment.
Completely.
We're checking the audio in here.
Everything
new
different.
Place, different background.
It feels, and the hour is different.
The hour's different. Our rights are different in California.
That's true. We shouldn't be this close.
We shouldn't be awake right now. I think we're in curfew. We're in the curfew time right now, from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. or
something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't know if you've ever said this. Broadcasting live from San Diego, California today, because normally we're in San Antonio.
The real military city, USA. San Diego wanted to be called Military City, USA. We beat them to the rights in March of 2017. So they now call themselves America's finest city.
America's finest.
Unless Greg Brockhouse wins mayor next year and registers that name too. Any name that San Diego calls himself, San Antonio adopts it. Let's go.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning.
Is Thanksgiving canceled? A lot of people, a lot of conversation about that.
A lot of conversation. It's not even conversation, a lot of disgust about that.
Yeah,
I can't wait to get into that. A lot of people that were offended that I suggested you have Thanksgiving with your family. So I wish it were a conversation, Saulo, but it's not.
Do you feel the conversation in Texas is different than in California?
I love that you pull me in, bro. See,
Yeah.
Saulo wants to pull me in, but before we get into that, we got some other things to cover.
Yes,
So we are right to it. So good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Chris Cano podcast. We are now going every Friday morning. We skipped a Friday. Lots of traveling, lots of things going on. Like Saulo mentioned, we're in San Diego, California. Thank you all for tuning in this morning. We're going to cover just a few things, man. I got some feedback from some of our military friends, and a lot of the things that I've been posting recently, Saulo, I'm very political, right?
Yes.
We're not that far from the election yet.
Yeah.
We're not that far, so there's still some sting. There's still some mental fatigue, political fatigue, if you will, right? A lot of people are changing their media outlets where they're getting their news. A lot of people now, no longer going to the Fox train. But one thing that is on my radar right now is there's military members that are upset.
Yeah.
Do you know why?
No.
So in the holidays, military members want to come home.
Yeah.
They want to be with family.
Oh.
And so a lot of branches right now, a lot of bases are putting right now, in effect, Hipcon Charlie, which is Health Protection Condition Charlie. And so I have something right here that I want to put up on the screen, Saulo. It says screenshot. Bear with us. The title screenshot.
Yours are over here. Hold on.
You got to use mine, Saulo. Screenshot. Yeah, let's put that on the screen real quick.
Which one? This one?
Yeah, that one.
That one, okay.
Okay, so to go over what Hipcon Charlie is, it basically is saying that we're canceling in-person.
Hold on, man.
Come on.
Man, hold on.
Stand by.
Yeah, we're another place.
We're now talking AOC.
No,
bro.
There you go.
All right, so assuming cancellation of in-person gatherings, assuming you restricted your ability to travel, that's the big one, right? So a lot of commands are asking our military members not to travel, planning for prolonged isolation with your family, limited access to supplies and services. So, Hipcon Charlie, we can take that off now. Hipcon Charlie is the fourth threat. So it starts at Hipcon 0 and Hipcon Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, and Delta is the most severe. So Hipcon Charlie right now, we got a lot of military members that are stuck, if you will. Now, you're not really stuck because you belong to the government. The government, as they say, when you're in the military, they have access to your rights. They control your rights. And so shout out to all of our military members that wanted to come home that are not able to come home right now. It's kind of a bummer.
Is it hard as you serve because you want to respect your nation, your commanding officers,
yes.
the people that apply the rules?
Not that you want to, you have to respect them.
You have to.
Yeah.
But some really want to.
Some want to.
Really want to.
Yeah.
But then they come into this particular order that's conflicting, like,
Yeah, what do you do, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of hard, shout out to all my submarine sailors out there who don't even have the option, right?
Yeah.
Like, you guys are talking about coming home, must be nice. But yeah, it is kind of conflicting, Saulo. Now, one thing that I will tell you, Operation Warp Speed, what does that mean to you?
The vaccine one?
Yes. So right now we have Operation Warp Speed. Can we go back to Saul? You need to stay on my slides, man. We're gonna move quick.
Sorry.
We're gonna move quick.
This is your slides.
We are gonna go to OWS right here.
This one?
This guy right here. So this is Perna.
Right
now, Perna is in control of Operation Warp Speed. So Operation Warp Speed, essentially what it is, we're at the vaccine going. The vaccine is getting ready to come out. If we go to San Antonio, Operation Warp Speed now, the clip title, San Antonio Operation Warp Speed. We are testing this thing out in San Antonio. We're using hospitals in San Antonio. It's a video. We're using the hospitals in San Antonio to start to roll out these vaccines. Now, of course, like any good vaccine, we start with the military, right? We start with the military. So check out this quick clip for
get it. Oh man,
Saulo.
I know.
Go to the videos, bro.
I know. I'm needing to go to your videos.
And if we can decide not to cooperate,
Stand
then
by.
we can decide to
Stand by.
cooperate.
Oh my goodness.
All right. All right. So, anyways, basically what it is a clip of us in San Antonio using our hospitals. We're starting to use our military members to test out some of these vaccines. Or here it is. All right, let's go to it.
Oh.
So what's going on?
Today is
not our best podcast.
Now taking control and saying that you have the power to make this decision, and for the millions of parents.
Okay, what just happened? Technical difficulties. So we're not going to play any videos today. We're just going to talk a little bit about what's going on with Thanksgiving. We'll jump right into it, Solo.
Yeah,
it's all right, dude. So we got some concerns that are coming up right now. California is actually a cool temperament to kind of showcase where a lot of people are wanting to go. What are you doing? What is this?
I'm trying to figure out. This is where we're at right now.
Okay.
Man, when you place, let me see if I can play this one right here.
Okay.
Let's see. I think.
The race for a COVID vaccine is not over yet. 2 military hospitals in San Antonio are participating in COVID-19 vaccine trials. Dozens of people have already signed up. The 19's Tiffany Huertas has a behind-the-scenes look at one of the sites of those trials and what it means to those who were on the front lines of this historic study.
This is our lab and our pharmacy trailer.
Peggy Smith has been in military research for over 30 years.
It's just phenomenal to think that you're part of history.
She is now part of the team at Brooke Army Medical Center that is participating in a COVID-19 vaccine trial under...
Okay, so... I want to get your take on this, bro. Would you volunteer yourself for vaccine trials?
No, I wouldn't.
So you're in the military, you don't have an option. What do you do in that situation?
If I don't have an option?
Yeah. You go AWOL?
Would that happen?
You leave the military, you go running, you go to Mexico, what do you do? So we're doing it, bro. It's happening. We're starting the trial. San Antonio, actually, interesting fact that we're doing it through our own Military City USA. Welcome to Military City USA. Come over here. Hey, you in uniform, come over here.
You gotta take it. What would you do? Because you served.
Yeah, because I served. I would be sick that day.
Why? Okay, so you wouldn't take it?
I don't know.
How
You put me in a sticky situation.
No,
You're making me test my oath. I don't know, man. That's tough. When you're conflicting morals.
I think that's the struggle right now.
Yeah, that
your
is the struggle.
oath and convictions.
So first and foremost, you got to know who you report to, right? So you report to the chain of command. You have a supervisor. You have people above you. I represent the fighting spirit of the Navy and those who have gone before me to defend freedom and democracy around the world. I proudly serve my country's Navy combat team with honor, courage, and commitment, right? That is what you know. That is what you were told. That is what you memorize. That is what you breathe. But first and foremost, I serve a living God. So I have to make sure that my convictions, first and foremost, to my Heavenly Father, match what it is that I'm being told, right? So I'm not a puppet. We're not sheep. We have to understand what it is that we're doing in our United States military. So to all my military members out there, speak up. If you don't agree with something, don't just do it. Bring it up to your chain of command. Have your supervisors.
But are they under orders as well?
Yeah, they're under orders, man. But it doesn't mean you just do it, right? So at the end of the day. You got to speak up. Okay, so we're going to get out of that. We're going to go straight into some biting gaffes. Let's loosen it up a little bit. We're going to really try to make this video thing work. So we got some biting gaffes that we want to get through, and so we can get into a more serious tone right after this.
Let's see if I can let it happen.
And if we can decide not to cooperate, then we can decide to cooperate. And what presidents say in this battle matters. I'll lead an effective strategy to mobilize true international effort to pressure. Barack and I think it's a right for people to have bad health care. Never been anything we've been not able to do.
From now, if you're a 65-year-old who's eligible for Medicare, you should have to pay nearly $6,400 more than you would today.
All right. Oh my goodness, today's not our day.
Okay, so essentially, that was Biden's commencement, or not what it's commencement, his presidential-elect speech mixed with some other highlights of certain things.
Okay, let me ask you the question.
Yeah,
about
go ahead.
Biden.
Yeah.
You voted for?
Biden.
What the?
Yeah, I totally threw a curveball on everybody.
Yes,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
I voted for Trump.
You voted for Trump. Is there a point in your life that you go, man, right now they're trying to figure out who won? Are you at a point where you're like, man, I hope Biden wins, because we're going to get a lot of this.
We're going to get a lot of that, right? And so for those of you who missed out on the last 4 years, we had a very, very, very funny president. Very funny president. Donald Trump. I just wish so many people weren't so adamant about hating the guy, or they would have realized how funny he is. I do think that Joe Biden is also a very funny president. The only problem is I don't think Joe Biden's going to be our president. I think if he does get elected, I think we know what's going to happen, right?
Damn, bro, you're that sure that he's not going to be president.
Well, I think Kamala Harris would be president shortly
after,
after, right? So, I mean, even if he got the office, I don't know how long he would have it. So it's really, kind of concerning. So anyways, so Saul brings up a good point. We're still dealing with a lot of the debate on whether or not he is the president. There's talks out there about the counting system, the Dominion, right? There's people saying that the Dominion has been, sponsored by Google, some, multi-million-dollar machine that was leased out that was supposed to actually count votes better. I mean, it's just so corrupt. There's so many different ways. Now, whether you're a Republican, whether you're a Democrat, I'm hoping more importantly you're an American who wants a good electoral system, something that we can believe in, something that we can trust. Otherwise, we're doomed.
Yeah.
If we got to play this game every 4 years or every 2 years or whatever type of runoff we're having, then, man, we're just going to go nuts out there. I think it's going to really discourage people from running. It's going to discourage people from voting. We're going to say, what's the point?
I love it. Look at this one.
I just made my first batch of coffee in my new Dominion coffee maker this morning. Don't know what I'm going to do with 393,000 cups of coffee, though. That's a good one. That's a pretty good one. So, it's interesting, man. We have a runoff election coming up in Georgia, January the 5th. I don't have any videos on this one, man, but what do you think? How do you think we're going, man? So this is important for the control of the Senate.
Well, this is where I get even more nervous because of what you were saying. If we're having problems with this national election, imagine if they concentrated their efforts just in Georgia.
I'm telling you, man. The Democrats, they run hard. We were just talking about this offline.
Yeah.
The Democrats run hard. They run together.
They're united.
They're united.
They do everything together.
Amen.
The good and the bad.
The good and the bad.
The straight and the not so straight.
I'm telling you, man. By the way, we forgot to thank our sponsors.
Our sponsors.
Yeah, this morning
Who are our sponsors
we're
today?
Thanking our sponsors. Our sponsors today are Mom and Dad, right? Because we're talking about curfews today. One thing we're going to talk about are curfews. So shout out to all moms and dads. Shout out to curfews, because sometimes curfews are needed. So we're going to get into some curfews.
Did you have a curfew?
I had a curfew, absolutely, but not from the governor. That's not my daddy. All right, so we got some videos. I want to actually, before the videos, let's get into AOC. Do you have that screenshot I have in AOC?
Yes, hold
so California, I posted something yesterday, and certain people say, hey, California doesn't count as part of the United States. That's not nice. I brought that up to my California friends. Okay, so we're coming to you live from Align Studios. Let me tell you, we have an office here in San Diego. We're in Mission Valley. Mission Valley is probably about 10 minutes away from downtown.
Yeah.
Beautiful area. I love
Very
San
beautiful.
Diego.
Very
I love
beautiful.
San Diego. I love all my shipmates that are serving here in the United States Navy. We have a great military presence here. We have some good people. San Diego's a lot like San Antonio in the sense that it's about family gatherings.
Okay.
Right? Good Mexican food.
Yeah.
Shall we go with whose Mexican food is better, or we don't want to?
No,
another podcast.
you can't.
Okay, another podcast.
It could be disrespectful.
It could be
to
very
them.
disrespectful. Okay, San Antonio has my heart with Mexican food, but San Diego, they got that seafood Mexican food. It's good. They're fish tacos, bro. Fish tacos, not Little Fish Factory.
Yeah.
But good fish tacos. Okay, so one thing that a lot of my San Diego or California friends aren't in agreement with is essentially how the governor is handling this lockdown. They use color codes. Are we using color codes in Texas in regards to, No, we're not doing that. So it's a California. I mean, and there's other states that are doing it as well. But one thing that AOC brought up on her Twitter, I think it was yesterday or day before,
good old AOC.
is, in order to get the virus under control, we need to pay people to stay home. How much does that cost, Saulo? How much will it cost
This
you
is a
to
real
stay home?
tweet?
This is a real tweet. This is not fake news. So that's the problem in our podcast. You post a lot of fake news stuff, and then I try to come with real news.
I don't think it's a problem with the podcast. It's a problem with America now.
It's a problem with America.
You don't know when it's a meme or it's real.
Now, whether
that's
or not
real.
That's real. So, of course, it wasn't censored, right? AOC's tweets go through no problem. But right now, AOC, she is saying that in order to get the virus under control, we need to pay people to stay home.
Yeah.
What money do we use to pay people to stay home?
Wow.
Right? So where does that money come from? Great idea, AOC. You get a lot of tweets and retweets and relikes and whatever. I don't use Twitter. But where's that money coming from? We've already used it on the wall. It's gone.
I thought Mexico paid for it.
Mexico did pay for it.
So we still have some money to go
Shout out to our sponsors. We have Mexico. So we'd like to thank our sponsor, Mexico.
The problem with today's conversation is because people think that this is going to happen. Look, that's what they think.
Families at Thanksgiving. Yeah, that's a huge, no way, Jose. So right now we have a lot of shutdowns taking place. It's not just California. Have you noticed, when you talk about things on the other side of the universe, you got California, you got New York. And there's a saying out there that says you don't want to live in California too long where it makes you soft, but you don't want to live in New York too long where it makes you hard, right?
Wow.
There's really different, but same political agendas. Would you rather live for a year in Northern California or New York? From a political stance only, not from the weather, not from, but from a political stance, whose regime would you rather be under?
That's a good question.
Yeah?
I think California.
California.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well,
You?
Oh, bro. I'm going to answer that after this. I'm setting you up right here. We're going to go to a video real quick of Mayor de Blasio. So the interesting thing right now for me in the news networks is they're starting to put the Democrats on blast.
Yeah.
We're starting to see it. There is dissension in the Democrat Party. So you got liberals, you got socialists, you got communists, you got left, so many different ways. And there's actually a lot of people in the Democratic camp that aren't a fan of, it's not that one, it's going to be Mayor de Blasio.
This guy.
Yeah. So we have a lot of people with dissension in the camps. A lot of people aren't for AOC, and they're like, AOC doesn't represent us.
It's an extreme.
It's an extreme. You look at Speaker Pelosi right now, right? She's not polling very well.
No.
As a fan, they're talking about her holding the seat for Speaker of the House, right? And I was like, yeah, let's get her out. But then there's somebody, put up, well, maybe.
Let me ask you this.
Okay, go ahead.
You're not a fan of Pelosi?
No, not at all.
Because she's bad.
She's bad.
So wouldn't you, if you're in a team, right? Wouldn't you want the bad players to be on the other team?
Yeah, it's one of those, it's like a sushi in the art of war, right? They say never interrupt somebody while they're doing something wrong.
Exactly.
Right?
Don't you feel like that with Pelosi and AOC?
Yeah, but I'm more of like you remember the organization MADD, M-A-D-D?
Mothers Against Drunk Driving?
Right. I want her off the streets because my kids are driving. Right? She's driving drunk. So, in theory, if she hit a wall, you're like, okay, cool, but she's banging other cars, right?
Wow. Okay.
Speaking of Pelosi, let's move on to the next point.
Oh, okay.
So we got Mayor de Blasio here. He is actually on CBS News this morning. CBS not known to be very conservative, probably one of the more democratic platforms, and I think they did a great job questioning him here. Let's listen to some of this.
But then we can come back.
That's what I was wondering. What is your timeline to reopen? Do you have one?
This next few days with the state of New York, we're going to come up with the new standards and announce them before Thanksgiving. And then I hope to be back in the next few weeks. But again, I'm going to ask a lot of parents to make sure kids are tested very consistently. I think that's going to be the key, Gail.
Yeah. Right. And then in the meantime, overwhelmingly black and brown school district and low-income kids are going to be back in very small apartments for the foreseeable future.
That's why we want to get them back in school. To do it the right way, the safe way.
All right, Mayor de Blasio, thank you very much.
The race for a COVID vaccine is not over yet.
All right, so they're shutting down schools in New York City again.
What do you think of that?
Not a huge fan of it, right? So right now people are saying, all right, well, if you're going to shut down schools again, then we'll just send our kids to bars. Because those are open. Because bars are open. Send your kid to the bar, send your kid to a gym.
He's safer at the bar.
Yeah, safer at the bar,
He's
right?
safer at the bar than in school.
It makes zero sense. So de Blasio actually, he said that if COVID rose back up to 3%, which is actually a very, very conservative number, seeing as like New York has had other laws before in regards to getting to 9%, right? If we get to 9%, 10%, we're going to go back into shutdowns. We're going to go. So, de Blasio is kind of running his own play right now. He's saying in New York City, because we're at 3%, we're going to go back to shutting down schools. Well, the problem that this creates is going into the holidays, you have a lot of underprivileged children that are now having to head back home under the care of their parents. You already have parents who are trying to make ends meet.
And they're stressed.
And now they're stressed. Going into the holidays, now they got the kids. I'm thinking that this is a little bit of a chess play in regards to a stay-at-home order. I think a stay-at-home order is en route. What do you think, bro?
Yeah. They're heading there little by little. I gotta give it to the Democrats. They're thinking the long game.
They're playing the long game.
Yeah, and they're putting pieces in place.
So now private schools have the advantage, right? Private schools can do whatever they want. Private schools don't need to shut down. So if you have the money, if you have the funds, you can send your kid to private schools. I'm curious to what this is going to look like. Now, they say that a child's brain is at its best whenever it's young. So you got schools being shut down unless you're going to a private school. So you got underprivileged kids now getting homeschooled by parents. And it's just creating this mess, and all because de Blasio. And so when asked the question, like, why de Blasio? Why are you shutting down? The data. Well, what data, right? So that's the thing. That's the thing that everybody's using right now. The word is the data. It doesn't make sense to me. So now Como is getting pressed. So we'll go to the video in regards to Como. Como is getting pressed. It is going to be this one right here.
This one.
Como's getting pressed in regards to, hey man, schools are getting shut down. What do you think about the mayor of New York City, right? So for those of you guys who don't know Andrew Cuomo, you know who I don't like more than Andrew Cuomo? Chris Cuomo. Which brother do you like more, Chris Cuomo or Andrew?
I like Andrew more than
You
Chris.
like Andrew more than Chris?
Yes.
Chris can't mess with your rights though, man. He'll report on them, but either way, I'm sorry I made you pick.
But I think Chris Cuomo's a reporter, right?
Yeah, CNN.
The reason I don't like him is because from a media standpoint, he's contaminating.
It's true.
The
Very true.
Yeah,
all right, let's roll this tape of Andrew Cuomo right now. I want to know what you think. What are your thoughts in regards to, do you think this guy's nice? When I asked Saul the question, would you rather live in New York or would you rather live in California? Speaking primarily from a politically standpoint, watch this clip.
I'm a little unclear about New York City schools. The other day you said this is the city's decision. They have an agreement at 3%. Today you said, well, I might have to impose an orange zone and I might have to close the schools, which an orange zone does. So what's going on? Does the city still have the ability to close its schools? Are you now taking control and saying that you have the power to make this decision? And for the millions of parents who want to know, are the schools going to open tomorrow in New York City?
All right. First of all, let's try not to be obnoxious and offensive in your tone, because you're 100% wrong. These laws have all been in effect for months. I've always said we set initial parameters, and then the school district picked a percent within those parameters. New York City picked 3%. We announced the orange zone law over a month ago. I don't know if you were here or if you were paying attention, but that has been in effect for over a month. It always said, if you hit 3%, the schools close.
All right. So I don't know if you were paying attention. Like, what a prick, bro.
Don't talk him. Like,
yeah.
First of all, your tone.
First of all, your tone.
And then you're wrong.
Right? He says, first of all, your tone, and then he proceeds with the sassiest tone ever, right?
Exactly.
First of all,
your tone is wrong, not mine. Yeah.
Let me show you, right? It's crazy. Proper tone. Let's go to the second clip. Same one, Kumo, part 2. Let me roll this tape real quick.
Well, I don't really care what you think. of course, you agree with him because you're in the same business with him. The schools, by state.
All right. So
Tone.
I don't really care what you think. I don't really care what you think, Saulo.
Your mayor, your leader.
That's not the mayor. He's above him.
Oh, this
He's the mayor's boss, right? I don't really care what you think. So, basically, you can go look this up. This was yesterday. I highly suggest you go watch this whole thing unveil. It's a few reporters asking some very basic questions. Hey, what are your thoughts on NYC Mayor de Blasio shutting down schools? What's happening in New York? And so all of these things that are, being asked and pressed on him, the guy is just completely lashing back out. He even asked the reporter, well, what do you say the law is? How do you interpret it? And I'm almost wondering, do you even know? He's asking back, when you know the answer to something, when you're nervous, right? You ask back, well, how do you interpret it, right?
What did you get by that?
What did you get by that? And okay, well then, you understand it. What are your questions? And the questions are why we're doing this. Why are we shutting down schools when we don't need to? And he's, instead of being responsive in a positive way, as if it's the reporter that has the questions, a good reporter represents the people. Old school reporters represent the people. So inquiring minds want to know, New York, why are we shutting schools back down? Why are we going back into a lockdown? We thought we were above this, right? And if lockdowns worked whenever we did lockdowns, how come we're going back into lockdowns?
I agree, but very good question.
Right, and if lockdowns didn't work.
How many days did they tell us in the beginning?
Oh, man.
16 days.
16?
They were like, it's in 16 days we can flatten the curve.
We can flatten the curve.
How long has it been? Like 70 days? I don't know anymore.
One thing I know about Democrats, when they talk about flattening curves, their curves are like straight up, bro. They don't have curves. They have...
In voting? You're talking about voting?
Well, I'm talking about everything, bro. I don't know what I'm talking about right now. So anyways, congratulations, de Blasio. Congratulations, Cuomo, for being two of the biggest jerks ever. Right? So if we haven't said it already, good morning, everybody, except for you, Cuomo, you jerk.
Do you think it's hard to talk about COVID because if we say it's a political play, it feels like we're not paying attention to the people that are losing their lives or the people that are getting sick. So it's hard to say, you know what, I think they're trying to make the economy go bad and make the president look bad, but we can't say that because it looks like we're not paying attention to the people that are really suffering.
Yeah, well, the interesting thing is, the censorship across the board, right? So, we don't take it lightly. There's no way you can, no matter how you feel about our podcast, there's no way that you can believe that we are not concerned with the health and the well-being of our Americans. I would love to have any conversation with anybody who wanted to challenge me and saying, Chris, that you're insensitive to the fact that people have died from COVID. I'm insensitive to the fact that, censorship is upon us. I don't take it from a very, how do I put this? Any American that's at risk, I have a problem with, right? And that's where, it's hard for me to get into that debate because if you think that this is the government putting things in place to protect you, to protect the health, and you're absolutely not paying attention or you're paying attention to the wrong things. I had a friend hit me up on Instagram Messenger the other day and say, bro, how can you truly believe that Trump still has a chance for a second term? He goes, dude, you're brainwashed like all my other Republican friends. And I said, okay, bro, tell me where you're getting your information from, right? And he listed off some mainstream media channels. And I said, you're calling me brainwashed. The fact that I'm able to read outside of mainstream media, I'm actually able to go understand things, look things up. You got to know what brainwash means. All right?
Let me ask you a question, Chris, because you're so right. The person asking you the question is correct, and the way you answered was correct. Because of this, have you ever thought we're all in a bubble in some way? Yeah, we're all in a bubble because Facebook, for example, the algorithms. If you're looking for Republicans with a hat,
right?
Facebook's going to know. It's going to feed you that a lot of time, more than normal, right? So if you're left leaning, Facebook's algorithms is going to feed you that. If you're right leaning, it's going to feed you that. Have you ever thought of maybe let me try to get on their side and think like them?
Well, no matter what, the government's listening.
Yeah.
Right? So before Facebook algorithms, if I were to say PlayStation 5, PlayStation 5. If you're listening, government, PlayStation 5, PlayStation 5.
Yeah,
Christmas is coming up, PlayStation 5, PlayStation 5, PlayStation 5. Saulo Rodriguez, PlayStation 5, PlayStation 5. Watch all the ads you get today for PlayStation 5. It's going to be Saulo's going to be scrolling through PlayStation 5. Why is this? Buy me one, though. I do want one. So have you ever thought that? Yeah, of course.
You know what, Chris, I may be wrong. Well, not wrong completely, but let me consider the other point of view. For example, Robert Newton right now says this.
Yeah.
All the science shows lockdowns and mask mandates don't work. Europe did all that, and they are still having spikes again. It's going to have to be something we live with till we get a vaccine.
I agree with that.
I agree, but the media will spin what he just said. Man, you're cold. We have to live with it.
Before the media gets to Robert, his peers are going to get to Robert. That's the problem.
Oh,
right.
Good.
So before the media can get to Robert, if Robert, and I love you, Robert, so don't take this the wrong way. But if Robert had a big following, a big influence, and what he just said reached a massive amount of people, he would get enough lashback from that the media wouldn't have to do its job. We are the media. So the problem with a lot of individuals, I love that Robert had the courage to speak up, but Robert has a job, Robert has coworkers, Robert has peers. So by Robert saying that, he stepped out on a limb to say, hey, here's what I believe, right? And now we'll wait to see if anybody, shuns him. Well, I was going to go to lunch with Robert today, but no. And I was going to buy a shirt from his t-shirt shop today, but no. I was going to utilize his services, but now no. Like, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. I do business with some amazing Democrats. I do business with some amazing conservatives. I do business with anybody that does good business. So you having your beliefs shouldn't always tie into how you do your business, right? And I think that we bring politics into every situation now. This is hard for me to say because I kind of do.
Yeah.
All right, but you get my point, right? I would never, from a
the
conservative,
point
you get the point what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
From a conservative stance, I just don't think that conservatives are so quick to, cut people off. Maybe I'm wrong.
Okay, I'm going to ask you. Let me play the devil's advocate. Usually, me too, because supposedly Biden won.
Hashtag me too.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it's a hashtag.
So Biden won. How many riots did you see because of Biden winning, supposedly?
None.
How many stores were destroyed?
None.
How many fires?
Yeah, none.
Because usually we would say it's usually the other side doing that.
Right. So, you can go and actually see that there were, so the protests that happened in D.C., wow. Peaceful that many people in the streets. Yeah. No rioting, no looting. Now, it happened, but it wasn't from a conservative stance, right? You talk about Antifa, you talk about all these people getting busted. There were people wearing MAGA hats, and they started to get attacked. Even, kids under the age of 16 getting stuff thrown at them. It's just crazy, I believe what side is bringing drama to the table. Now, now back to your point, I don't know if it's a Democrat thing, I don't know if it's a Republican thing. I think that we are in a bubble. I think there's something much bigger going on. I think there's a bigger agenda that we aren't seeing, that we don't understand. We're over here puppeteering, right? We're like, oh, who's going to win the Georgia runoff? Or, oh, what's going to happen with this election fraud? There is something so much bigger happening, Saulo. So much bigger. You got to keep your eyes open. You got to continue to stay alert. It's interesting because we take it very lightly how smart our president truly is. Trump is a smart dude.
You said it, bro.
He's a smart dude, bro. So he's putting,
Are you in a bubble?
He's putting Rudy. Right, we talked about this the other day. He's putting Rudy on TV. He's baiting people. Here's Rudy. Let me give y'all something to talk about. And Rudy did great yesterday in his press conference.
Amazing.
Called CNN out big time.
Bro, that was
He said, y'all are the problem, right?
See, which organization are you with?
CNN. Let me tell you why y'all are the problem. And
first of all, you're toad. No, joking.
Yeah. So, he's given us Rudy, but what we're not seeing is the attorneys that are actually doing the work.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. What's her name? What's the girl's
Sidney
name?
Powell?
Is it Sidney Powell? Yeah, Sidney Powell. She was part of the, allegations whenever the Clinton, drama was going on. She's a beast.
She's a beast.
She's about to release the Kraken. She says, I'm about to release the Kraken. She says there are things you know, there's publications coming out right now where they're like, Biden, you might as well just resign. You don't want to go here, bro.
Bro, can
what
you imagine?
what we're about to release, you don't want to go there. Now, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm just reporting what the attorney who has a very strong credibility sheet is stating right now, right? So we're getting de Blasio. Y'all think that de Blasio's the only one putting in work? You're like, oh, 3 dead voters. Big deal. That's not going to turn the election, right? That's all y'all found. Trust me. There's more to come. Bro. There's more to come.
Where does it, for example, the other side, how does their mind work that they're like, conspiracy theory, and then they start seeing evidence, they're like, okay, hold on. Remember what I said a little while ago? Well, the news say that.
You know what's interesting to me, bro, is, you know, whenever a conspiracy theory gets put on the table, it's immediately dismissed, right?
Yeah,
and who even labels it a conspiracy theory? I don't know. I think that the moment you do it, it automatically starts to lose credibility, right?
Even if you say drinking water is good.
Yeah. Oh.
And if you put, that's a conspiracy theory, that idea sounds horrible.
Yeah, it sounds horrible.
Yeah.
So, you know, you got all of these Facebook attorneys, they come out and they say, well, let me tell you, you know, those 3 voters you're talking about. You know, somebody posted on my Facebook page the other day saying that Tucker Carlson was wrong, right? So one of the individuals that he said was a dead voter in Georgia actually turned out to be alive, right? That's, yeah. And so,
he was fact-checked.
I fact-checked, right? So, great. And I said, well, man, Tucker needs to slow his roll.
Yeah.
He needs to be careful, right? He needs to be careful because there's people that are sharing and retweeting some of the things that he's saying, hoping that they've done good journalism, right? And we're wrong. And he was wrong. And so, you know, but those fact checkers, you know, the Democratic Party that actually went and fact checked that, posted it on my page. I went and said, well, man, you guys solved the mystery. Nice work. Go ahead and share your findings with the Supreme Court, with SCOTUS, and, you know, let's keep moving. There's so many people out there that are Facebook attorneys, Googling things, you know, trying their best to prove that this is Biden's win. All I'm saying is you can't get past certain hurdles without having a discussion point. Time out. Let's take a look at what happened at 3:32 a.m., right? And things like that. But no, I want to talk about that.
Case in point, with your situation.
Yeah.
We recorded a promo for this podcast.
Yeah.
And we wanted to boost it. We wanted to get it out there. But we couldn't because you mentioned a particular word in the promo.
Mexicans. Or no,
Yes.
government.
Yeah, Facebook put a wall.
No.
Anyway, so we did a promo, and because he said a particular word, it was flagged. We couldn't do anything with it because Chris mentioned this word, and it sounded like this, and it sounded like he was trying to be political. And we just want to talk about turkeys.
Turkeys. That's it.
And then, anyway, so just so you'll know, Brittany Labruda. People are too sensitive these days, and everything offends everyone.
Amen, Brittany. Amen.
And then she said, "Is that too insensitive to say?"
Yeah, it's too insensitive. So, Brittany, anticipate losing your job today. Anticipate getting kicked out of your, apartment, community, shunned. Come on home to Align Mortgage if you need a place of refuge. The interesting thing to me, a lot of people ask is, you know, in regards to your beliefs and your stance and your posts that you make, aren't you worried, right, about your business? The question that a lot of us have to ask is, what are the reprimands that concern us, right? I don't believe that every post needs to be political. I don't think every conversation needs to be political, but whenever you feel like saying something, when you feel like your rights are challenged, when you have that feeling in your gut like, this is wrong, should I say something? I think I talked about this on a podcast a few weeks ago where when I post something, people won't always reply to my post, but they'll text me like, bro, I love that post. They won't put it in my comment section and fear that somebody will read it, but I'm getting these texts or
it's kind of sad, right?
It is sad. Yeah, they agree with it, but they want to agree with it offline.
They go like this, but in a
Hey, bro. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So, anyways, let's get into what's going on with Gavin Newsom. I have a lot of Gavin Newsom content here, Saulo, so we're going to have to kind of move quick. Let's go. Before the videos, we're going to go into some of the graphics. Okay. So with Newsom, Orwellian is a word that's getting thrown around right now. Yep. Saulo and I were just listening to a podcast, and they were talking about Orwellian, or I forget how you say it. But
Orwellian.
Orwellian? Is that it? So George Orwell wrote the book Animal Farm. You remember that book?
Yeah,
Did you ever read
that?
that?
I love it.
Big believer in socialism. So Animal Farm.
The way he taught a big concept using cartoons or a cartoonish idea.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. So, Kayleigh McEnany, she was talking about this in one of her, State of the Union presentation, secretary, whatever. And she was talking about how this is a whole Orwellian thing, and Orwellian being applied to the fact that we're being conditioned, right? Everything is turning into a conditioning thing, because that was what George Orwell was all about. A lot of his books were talking about how we can condition from a socialist standpoint. So this graphic that we have, Newsom 2, he was out dining in Northern California, Napa Valley. He got caught.
And with some doctors.
With some doctors.
That were advising him about COVID.
That's right.
After he said, don't get together.
And you have to remember that the pigs from Animal Farm dine inside while the other animals are forbidden indoors. You remember that part?
Yes.
Yeah, that book messed me up,
And
bro.
they all thought, weren't we all in this together?
Weren't we all in this together?
But certain people have rights more than others?
Yeah, we have rights.
And what did he say?
Let's go to the video. So he actually he went and apologized. Now he apologized with his Bane voice, right? So let's take a look real quick.
You want to mute it?
Yeah.
Help me with the mute.
I should have stood up and walked back, got in my car, and drove back to my house. Instead, I chose to sit there with my wife and a number of other couples that were outside the household. And you can quibble about the guidelines, et cetera, but the spirit of what I'm preaching all the time was contradicted, and I got to own that. And so I want to apologize to you because I need to preach. And
wow,
I have to own that. I can't just.
I should have gone back home.
I should have gone back.
Could people in this season, could they just say that, hey, I'm sorry, I'm here with 50 people celebrating, I should have gone home.
I should have just gone home.
Simple.
We get pulled over, right? Driving. Sorry, but I should have just gone home. I should have just gone. Somebody just gets done shooting somebody. I'm sorry, man. I should have just gone home.
But the sentiment, the spirit of what I was saying.
But what I meant is,
I believe in life, but I took his life.
Okay, so Newsom posted this on his Facebook recently. Due to the rise in COVID cases, California is issuing a limited stay-at-home order. Non-essential work and gatherings must stop from 10 p.m. to 5 in counties in the purple tier, right? This is going to take effect at 10 on Saturday and remain for 1 month. Together we can flatten the curve. So I posted this on my Facebook talking about how Newsom, in his science, Newsom science, COVID doesn't exist from 10 to 5.
Look at that. Look at that. Californians, when they get home by 10 p.m.
Now, here's a little tip for you guys who are concerned in case you are stuck outside at 10 p.m. If you get caught between 10 and 5 a.m., just begin to riot. Because COVID doesn't get rioters either.
Riot protects you.
My suggestion, carry a brick in your car. You catch yourself, it's 10:15, pull over. Throw a brick through something.
And you're protected.
COVID free.
You know what I'm doing? You know what I'm doing? I'm carrying a restaurant table.
Carry a restaurant table.
Because you know that you go into a restaurant, you got the mask. But as soon as you sit down, the virus knows.
COVID free.
Yeah, the virus is like, oh, they sat down.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're good. So
that's
carry
actually
a restaurant table.
Or immediately pull over to a bar and start drinking. Right? If you catch yourself out past 10 o'clock, pull into a bar. It doesn't matter how crowded it is. Start drinking.
Carry
COVID
a bar.
free.
Go to a bar. Yep. Carry a restaurant table and carry a brick.
Carry a brick.
Protection for COVID.
Well, maybe also some gym shorts. If you pull over and go to a gym, also gyms are open.
Got it.
No COVID inside of gyms.
Wow. Man, the COVID virus is not that smart.
For those of you guys who are thinking about pulling over into a church, please know that church is probably locked. Right? It's probably shut down.
That's the most dangerous place.
Yeah, dangerous place, right? Unless, of course, they're having a CrossFit session in the parking lot of that church.
Or you can start a protest inside the church.
Ooh.
With bricks. Get healed. Yeah, and praise Jesus.
So, we got Newsom. He's setting the curfew. The curfew's on us now, starting Saturday from 10 to 5.
Sorry. Oh, this is a restaurant table. This is a restaurant table.
Well, it's been an honor being one of your podcast pilots, guys. As you can hear, Saulo is coughing up a storm. All right, bro. Well, anyways.
Hey, how many times? I don't know where we're at in regards to this virus thing.
Yeah.
But when we were in the middle of it, how many times were you wanting to cough when there was people around and you decided to fart instead? I'm just gonna say it like that. That you're like
yeah.
How many times? Did that ever happen?
Yeah, that happens a lot.
Or that you wanted to sneeze and
pre-COVID even. Come on, man. I'm a Hispanic guy with eating Hispanic food.
Okay.
So I know you don't have COVID, bro. Look at this chest hair, bro. Is that coming through on the podcast? Look at that.
So you think COVID will eliminate my hair?
No, bro. So, kind of ridiculous. We're making light of a situation because it doesn't make any sense. Now, we're not making light of COVID. I think COVID is a very, something that we need to be regulating, right? And having some sort of adult responsibilities. But if you're waiting for Gavin Newsom to tweet out that staying at home from 10 to 5 is the best way to handle that, you're absurd. Be an adult, right? Now, a sheriff put out, and I'm not even going to go to the slide, you're just going to have to take my word for it. A sheriff in Sacramento put out that we will not be regulating 10 to 5. We will not be regulating how many people are in your household on Thanksgiving. That was their kind of middle finger.
Was this one?
No. That is it. So in response to much social uncertainty and numerous inquiries, I wanted to clarify that the position of the Sacramento office relative to existing health orders, as well as any potential impending orders at the county or state level, it is saying that it will not be determining, including entering any home or business, compliance with, or enforcing compliance of any health or emergency orders related to curfew staying at home. So the way I see that, and they end it with, have a happy and Thanksgiving, a happy Thanksgiving holiday. That's their way of saying, you're dumb. Newsom, you're dumb, right? We're not regulating this. Like Sacramento, which tends to be kind of a red, city.
Let me show you something I saw yesterday. Look at this. Hold on.
Okay, man.
Let me show you.
So we're getting into it. But
look at this guy. Look at this guy, right? So he does this thing, right? He says, who do Californians hate more?
Gavin Newsom or dude, you got to go to the parody. Let's go to the video. So I 100% that was with probably the Dominion. Actually, that one was probably voted in person.
Okay.
So we got this Gavin Newsom parody.
There's two of them.
There's two of them. We're going to watch the first one first. We're going to talk about it and then go to the second.
Okay.
Yeah. Ready? And let's play.
Hello, I'm California dictator, Governor Gavin Newsom. Many of you know me as the former mayor of Gotham, or as some people call it, San Francisco. With Thanksgiving right around the corner, I thought it was time to lay out some rules and regulations on how you can have a safe holiday while remaining as scared as possible. These rules don't come from the CDC or from the WHO. They come from me and my slicked back hair. Because instead of spending my time trying to fix things in this beautiful state, I'm writing new rules on Turkey Day. But hey, look at this smile. Now here are some very science-ish rules to follow for your Thanksgiving. You are not allowed to be with more than 3 households at a time. This includes hosts, guests, and your nearest homeless people. That's right, no more than 3 households, which means 2 people is safe. But if you invite 3 people over, you'll instantly die of COVID. And that's just science, baby. All gatherings must be held outside, and you must stay at least 1 football field's length away from each person. We recommend limiting conversation. If you need to talk to someone, you can use an empty can attached to a string. We also recommend not making eye contact with anyone. Even the quickest glance can cause immediate death. And that's Newsom science, baby. Everyone must hold their breath at all times. If you need to breathe, run to your nearest state for some fresh, clean air. I'd recommend Texas. Make sure all surfaces have been sanitized. If you think an object has been infected, wipe it down. When in doubt, burn it. All dinner guests will be required to pay an additional 30% in taxes before having dessert. Because this is California, and we will tax that ass dry, baby. Masks must stay on in between bites of food and in between sips of blood of the innocent. Sorry, in between sips of your drinks. Face coverings must be worn at all times, except in the case of medical emergency. That's right, if you're dying, you may remove your mask. You're welcome.
Wow. Amazing advice.
Yeah. Before I knew much about Newsom, I thought that was Newsom. Yeah. I was like, yeah, that sounds about right. This is not not that far from what is actually being asked.
And check this out. A lot of people are getting to know him because he's just that ridiculous.
Is that ridiculous, right? And my question is, when you know that you're going so far off the edge, do you even care at this point? Maybe it's comical. Maybe it's one of those, things that you call like a car accident where you can't help but watch, right? He's drawing a lot of attention on a national level. I was telling my friends here in California, I said, who voted for this guy? Because we're in Texas and we talk more probably about Newsom than we do our own governor.
That's true.
It is crazy how much attention this guy's drawing.
Yeah.
It's almost like he's Orwellianed us.
Yeah.
What's the
Orwellianized. Yeah.
We're Orwellianized to his antics.
Yeah.
We're gonna look up that word.
And just what Chris is talking about, George Orwell, whatever. I think we're being conditioned not to do later we're going to be conditioned not even to think a certain way. Little by little, okay, don't do this, don't do this. And little by little, they're shaping the way you think to the point that we're going to be at a very horrible place.
We are.
Because right now, we can't even make, comedy, when comedy is always on the basis of somebody else's pain. Every joke is on the basis of somebody else's pain. Every joke.
We've been through this before.
Yeah,
right?
and then now we can't joke about.
I can.
Yes, you can.
I don't care.
Most people. I've been originalized.
I've been Orwellianized. Yeah. So
like that,
I've anybody who's been through, to all my military brothers and sisters out there, we've been through boot camp, right? So we do know what it's like to be conditioned to a certain degree.
Yeah.
You are conditioned. You're taken out of a comfort zone. You're trained to be a killer. You're trained to be a fighter. You're trained to serve your country. There is a time where conditioning can play to an advantage.
Yes.
Our parents condition us. They spank us. Hey, mijo, you took money out of my wallet. I'm conditioned by my dad's belt, right?
Yeah.
So the question we have to ask is, who do we want to be conditioned by? Right? So let's go to, we got another Newsom video.
Yeah.
Let's roll this tape real quick.
In addition to these Thanksgiving regulations, I've laid out a very sciencey plan to keep you safe by making you scared of all holidays. Christmas, no more than 2 presents per person, weighing no more than 8 ounces each. Heavy presents cause COVID. And that's science, baby. Valentine's Day, no sex unless it's with me. St. Patrick's Day, you are allowed to have beer, but you can only swish it around in your mouth 3 times before spitting it out into one of our California-approved beer spit receptacles. We will be passing out these beer spit receptacles to every home and every tent throughout the state for an additional 10% tax increase. Easter, you may hide eggs, but you may not find them. Anyone who finds an Easter egg will instantly die of COVID. And that's science, baby. Ha! Father's Day, you may celebrate with everyone except for your dad. Flag Day, you may celebrate with anything except for a flag. Ooh. That's it for now, but I'll be sure to add more rules literally whenever I want. Because I don't trust the people of this state to think logically and rationally. They need me and my slicked back hair to think for them. Ha! For more information on how you can willfully submit to my power, purchase my new book, How to Survive in California, by Supreme Leader Gavin Newsom. Forward by Vladimir Putin. Ha! Ha! And that's Newsom science, baby.
That's going to stay in my head. You can hide eggs, but you can't find them.
You can't find them.
You can celebrate Father's Day, but that's your dad. You can't have sex.
So, the thing is, you have to, going back to what I was just saying earlier, we're being conditioned. And the question is, you need to ask, who are we being conditioned by? We are not taken away from the idea that COVID is a real thing. Right?
Yeah,
it is important that you figure out what works best for yourself, for your family, or are you okay with the government figuring it out for you? Right? This is not going to be something, Saulo, where I think one side of the aisle or the other is going to bend to the other side.
Yeah.
You got your masked people and you got your no mask people.
Yeah.
Right? We're obviously masked people. Saulo and I obviously believe in social distancing.
This is a clear mask we're wearing? It's clear.
So let me just let you guys know it's 4 a.m. here. No, now it's 6 a.m.
It was
6 a.m. We're 2 hours behind. So we got here at 4 a.m. So we broke curfew already.
What the heck
Yeah,
you did?
we did break curfew.
Breaking the law.
Breaking the law. So, but Saulo and I understand that this is something that is actually going to be ongoing. So what points are we making? People, and let me just tell you this. Just because I'm not always social distancing doesn't mean that I don't believe in science. I feel like people go straight to that. Well, the science proves, right? Well, so does my intuition, right? At a certain point, I know where I'm at. I know how many people are there. I understand, that if I'm not feeling well, I know to stay home.
Yeah.
I'm not, I'm regulating this. But if you think that a silly rule, if you think that these silly, tweets or posts that these congressmen or these senators or these mayors or these governors are putting out are going to, make a change, all it's doing is pissing people off.
Yeah. They're getting a bad flavor for the government.
Yeah. You got certain people that are commenting under Newsom, at this work or stay-at-home order that he's putting out there saying, thank you for caring about us. But the other 98% of it is like, bro, who are you? What are you doing? You're ruining our state. California right now has the most people exiting California than any other state. I think they said every 14 seconds or something, a resident leaves California.
Must be for a reason. How are you celebrating Thanksgiving?
Here in California.
Oh, that's
yeah.
And
so,
I ask you, with how many people?
Yes, absolutely. As many people fit in our apartment. So Marissa's family is coming over, which is interesting because you know, they have Garth Brooks. I had a video, but we're not going to play it anymore. Garth Brooks talking about how he's canceling his Thanksgiving. They're using our country singers now, bro. They're using our they're going after us Republicans. Garth!
What happened to you,
What
Garth?
happened, bro? Now I know why Garth is disinviting his family over, right? Because he obviously wants to eat all the food himself. Garth Brooks.
I thought the thunder rolled, bro.
The thunder, no, the thunder thighs, bro.
Mama.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Garth Brooks song?
That's a good question.
Do you like Garth Brooks?
I like Garth Brooks.
Okay, there we go.
I need to figure out who he voted for before I answer.
That's true. You can't like him. If you didn't vote for the person you wanted, you can't like him.
You know, so Marissa's family's coming over. We're gonna have, you know, a good time. Whoa, the lights are starting to change.
Is it because we're not moving?
Is it because it's curfew? We're
What
past
happened
curfew. How
there?
does the governor know?
Wow.
Oh, he's scary. All right.
That was interesting.
So, yeah, what are you gonna do for Thanksgiving, man? What's your plans?
About totally Mexicanized Thanksgiving thing. A lot of people are coming to my house. Well, we're going to Eagle Pass to visit my mom and my dad. Edith and myself.
What's the Eagle Pass? Is it red or is it blue? Eagle Pass.
Blue.
It's blue?
Small town, bro. 37,000 people, and it's blue.
37,000 people, and 41,000 of them voted.
Exactly, just like Arizona.
I had a friend from Arizona.
What happened to the light?
My friend Josh came back from Arizona. Josh Lander, shout out, love you, buddy. He said he went on like this excursion, horseback riding and everything else. And I said, hey, dude, you were in Arizona for a while. What's the temperament? You were there during the election season and everything else. He said, bro, Arizona is red.
Yeah.
Arizona's, you know, he was like, I was talking to a lot of people, not just in a red county or a red city, but if you ask the temperament in Arizona, they're like, something crazy is going on, right?
Yeah.
I always wonder, like, I want to go to Michigan, I want to walk around. I want to go to Pennsylvania, I want to go to Wisconsin, I want to walk around and say, yeah, what, you know, getting to the grassroots, turn off mainstream media and ask, like, you know, what's going on here?
Yeah. I think
I'm going to do a recount by hand. I'm going to personally knock on doors and recount this election, bro.
you can hire a few Mexicans to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that California is red at its core.
Yeah.
But the loudest people are the blues.
Of course.
And they get the most attention and they make more noise or whatever. But I think California, to its root, and when I say red, I say conservative, not necessarily Republican.
Yeah.
I'm saying that California is very family, I still think, but the loudest ones are the weird ones, like Texas. Austin is weird.
Yeah, Austin is, yeah. You know, what's
I love
crazy
Austin.
right now is people are transitioning from California to Texas. You look at Joe Rogan, right? But where do they go? You know, so Austin is like the, you know, them
Transition
dipping,
step,
yeah, that's a transition, right?
Yeah.
It's a transition
So I like
step.
this, yeah.
Like, okay, dude, if you guys, hey, California, shout out, love you guys. Y'all want to come to Texas, cool.
Yeah.
Austin isn't Texas.
No, it's still California. It's still California.
Austin
It's still California.
You know, all these Californians
We're gonna
that
be
feel
sure.
like they're being rebels, like, I've had it with California. I'm going to Texas. When you're in Austin wearing a dress, you're not in California. Or you're not in Texas.
Bro,
you're
you
still in
went there?
California. I went there, bro.
You
yeah,
went.
yeah, I went
That's
there.
next week's topic.
That's next week's topic, probably. Fashion for masculine men. What, bro?
You're so daring, man. I wish
Why?
I was. Maybe I'm not brave enough to talk about that.
Why?
I don't know, because we're talking about backlash, and sometimes I want to be considered, but sometimes it's just stupid funny, like all this, like Candace Owens and Ben Shapiro. They're talking about bringing back masculine men, and that's controversial.
You know what's controversial? My mustache is controversial.
Yes.
If you guys want to make fun of my mustache, have at it. Get over it. If you're going to be different, expect, you know, some sort of conversation. You know, always interesting to me when people walk out of their house with, you know, certain demeanor and they expect, you're doing it for attention.
Yeah, of
We're
course.
giving it to you.
Yeah.
That's what you want. You win, right? If there were, you know, a smart thing to do, it would be that, you know, don't pay attention to them. But, you know, you're asking for it. I have this one last video, bro. So I think it was really cool in Joe and Kamala, you know, going on stage. And by the way, bro, I prefer to be called President-elect Chris Cano.
Ladies and gentlemen, can anybody in the comments put President-elect Chris Cano? That's what he identifies as.
I identify now as President-elect Chris Cano because apparently it doesn't matter anymore about where the announcement comes from. boof.
The rules are out the door.
The rules are out. You can consider yourself president-elect. So, you know.
Are you on Parler? You're not on Parler, right? You haven't gotten on Parler.
I did. So I was making fun of you the other day. I was making fun of you the other day. I actually went and I looked it up. I was like, what was Saul talking about on Parler? I went and I created an account. I haven't posted anything on it yet, though.
It's growing like crazy.
It is.
In a week and a half, Parler, Woofu, or whatever, Woomu, whatever it's called, the 3 new social media platforms were the most downloaded apps in the United States, in the world. It's impressive. Anyway.
People are getting tired of Zucks. Getting tired of Zucks.
Yeah.
Zuckerberg, man, he's getting a little cray-cray. Getting a little crazy out there. Dude, on Facebook right now, when you go log in right into your news feed, it says, it's pushing this political thing on me. It's telling me, you know, things you need to know about the election. 1, it wasn't rigged. 2, you know, they were very, I'm like, yo, why are you doing this to me?
Yeah. This Thanksgiving post, we shared it, and it said under your video, we're talking about Thanksgiving turkey, and it said on the bottom, President-elect Biden is the official president or whatever, and to see the results go here. I'm like,
unreal.
Yeah.
It's unreal. So making sure that you all understand one thing that is extremely important to me to get out in this podcast and have y'all understand is we're heading a direction in this country. It's not even a matter so much of red or blue. It is, I think, in my opinion, a conditioning matter.
Yeah.
It is how much you're willing to tolerate. So for my service members, the men and women, when I posted something the other day, it was Veterans Day, and I said I did not serve our country for dead people to vote. I had a lot of people that agreed with me, and I had a few who didn't. And I actually had a couple of service members that I got into a healthy debate with and a healthy discussion with. And they said, dude, I don't appreciate you using your uniform to push, you know, some propaganda. And I said, hey, man, I don't appreciate you, you know, reprimanding me, using your uniform to reprimand me. And we just turned into this, like, you know, and so at the end of the day, my platform is my platform. What I believe in is what I believe in. I'm not going to be self-censored. Will I lose, you know, some friends? Will I lose some? Now, I'm not intentionally trying to push them away, Saulo. I'm trying to engage in conversation. Now, my way of engaging in conversation comes with kind of a hard, harsh, aggressive, in your face.
Yes. I've seen it. I've seen it. I've been there.
I've seen it and I've been there. So, you know, going back from an entrepreneur standpoint, we started a mortgage company. There was just a few of us. We grew to about 295 people. That same aggression, that same passion, that same way of handling matters, you know, it works to some degree, but it's not for everybody. Now, what I'm encouraging us to do this Thanksgiving, and Thanksgiving, right, is where you gather around the table, you celebrate Thanksgiving. We won't get into whether or not you agree with Thanksgiving as a holiday or the Indians, you know, whether they deserve, you know, it's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
If you're just somebody that likes good old-fashioned turkey, mashed potatoes, green beans, and everything else, you like to be with your family, gather around, I encourage you to do so. Please make sure that you do not only censor yourself on social media, but censor yourself at the dining room table. Because at the dining room table, Saulo, that's where great conversations happen.
Yeah, yeah. I saw this meme, which was stupid, but it's funny. Hold on, let's see if I can have it. Here it is. Look at this one. It's funny.
Be sure to bring up politics at Thanksgiving dinner. It's going to save you money on Christmas gifts. Follow me for more holiday tips. Amen. Make sure you bring up...
I mean, that's
a good
we're being conditioned, people. We're being conditioned. Look at this conditioning that we're all following.
Get us another one.
Right there. Look at that.
Thanksgiving is canceled.
The turkeys.
That's like Chick-fil-A. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, who wins this year? The turkeys, definitely.
In 2019, you said, man, I'm stuffed. I couldn't eat another bite in Thanksgiving dinner. And 2020 said, you got it, pal.
You know what I'm not seeing right now? The best thing about 2020 is going to be eating pizza for Dude, come on. We're not going that route. We're not doing pizza.
No.
You're not hearing about Black Friday getting shut down. Right? How come? Right? What do you think draws in a bigger crowd? What do you think draws in a bigger crowd? Your Thanksgiving dining room table or Walmart at midnight?
What is California going to do?
I don't know.
It's after curfew.
Oh?
That's a complication that I want to see firsthand.
I recommend bringing a brick. Don't. Don't hurt anybody. If you guys are going out on Black Friday, don't hurt anybody. Please don't throw a brick.
Just be careful where you throw that brick.
We might have just lost our sponsor, looting sponsors. They highly recommend you do throw a brick. But, you know, interesting fact, you're not seeing a lot of talk about shutting down Black Friday. As far as I'm concerned, Black Friday is still on.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I coughed again. Can you say Black Friday?
I don't know, bro. Can you cough?
I know, I did.
What's more offensive?
I don't even know.
I don't know.
A cough is more offensive now than.
So, you know, if you want to be smart, be smart. But if you think that having more people at a Thanksgiving table is worse than what Black Friday normally brings, now, whether or not, you know, I don't know what Black Friday's looking like. I don't know if that's something that's being regulated. And the reason I don't know is because people aren't reporting on it. We're so focused on keeping 3 households, you know, regulating 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. that nobody's saying, hey, by the way, Black Friday is now turned into Cyber Monday. We're canceling Black Friday. We think it draws in. And I don't recommend doing that. I highly recommend Black Friday continue on. I think a lot of our local businesses need that.
Yes.
Right? Cyber Monday is the opposite of that. And this is coming from somebody who believes in capitalism, right? I think that if you just wait till Cyber Monday and order everything off Amazon Prime, then we're continuing to feed the dragon, Jeff Bezos, right? So if Friday you have local shops and organizations that are open, go support them, go buy every TV off their wall, and go make sure that, you know, you pump some money into their register so that they can make it through this pandemic.
So you can only have 10 people, right, in Thanksgiving. Check this out. This is horrible.
Me shooting my brother because we have 11. Bro.
Too dark?
Too dark,
Is that
man.
too dark?
You can't have, you can't say that.
Man, poor people. Some people are going to have their Thanksgiving like this, Oh, hold on. Right there.
Spam. Yeah, Spam is actually really good.
Yes, it is.
It's the fruit of Hawaii. Speaking of the fruit of Hawaii, shout out to all my Hawaiian friends right now. You know, you guys are under the regime of Mazie Hirono. I lived in Hawaii for 15 years. I love the Aloha State. I love all of my ohana, but I cannot support that woman.
No.
I cannot. And you know what's sad is Pearl Harbor, right in the heart of the military. A lot of people think that tourism drives Hawaii. It's actually the military, right? So there's just like 3 major highways, H1, H2, and H3 in Hawaii. And the reason those highways even exist on the island is to connect the military bases, you know, because back in the day they needed to get cargo and everything else from base to base. So all our military brothers bring an eclectic mix to that very far left island. And so for my military brothers and sisters that have nowhere to go on Thanksgiving, make sure y'all huddle up, make sure that you guys take care of each other, you know, break bread, and celebrate this holiday that you guys, you know, defend. For those of y'all that actually are in town and able to celebrate, again, we're at Hipcon Charlie for those that aren't able to make it home. Man, we had some technical difficulties today, but we got through it.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
Wow, perspective.
Dude, I'm excited for Thanksgiving.
I am too.
I'm grateful.
Yeah, I'm very grateful. Now,
what are you most grateful for as a Christian?
Me?
Yeah.
Christ. Died on the cross.
Okay.
Yeah. And after that, there's so many things. My wife, my little son, Amado.
His first Thanksgiving.
First Thanksgiving.
It won't be canceled.
Nope, not at all. Even if they cancel the technical reunion, may we push ourselves. Brittany says, hug everybody. I believe that. We got to push ourselves to be grateful, show gratitude, tell people that we love them. Let's say you can't get out of your house. Still have a grateful heart.
Amen.
We need to have a grateful heart.
Where I would disagree with Brittany is, let's not forget that just because COVID is among us and we're you know, rebelling, some people still smell bad. I won't hug everybody.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's important that you guys understand, just because we're social distancing, we still smell your farts. Doesn't give you a reason to not bathe, right? Doesn't give you a reason to not bathe.
What are you doing?
What are you playing here?
Oh, I was going to put music.
Oh, music. Okay, so next Friday, we'll be coming back to you from San Antonio.
Or jail if we get arrested.
Or jail if we're arrested, either way. Now, thank you guys for listening to Saulo and I. We have fun with you guys on this podcast. We're traveling all over. I'm taking Saulo with me, I think, to Hawaii next month. I haven't told you about it, but we're going to do it.
Let's do it.
And so
bro, we could do it on the beach or somewhere.
That sounds romantic.
Oh, that's true. Sorry,
yeah,
we can take our
because we're masculine men who wear jeans.
No, we're going to be hitting each other and doing the podcast.
Amen. We're going to work on cars and lift weights.
Nice.
Go to bars.
Yeah.
All right, thank you guys. God bless. Happy Thanksgiving. Be grateful this year.